Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about something very important for everyone who is playing Miss Fortune, and this is Miss Fortune's Ultimate. As you all know, it's an amazing combo when you get it off with some AoE stun or whatever, and you can just press R and pentakill all of them. But this is very rarely the case, and more often than not you will use your ult differently. And I happened to play a game in solo queue the other day, and I want to show you. Well, we are playing Alistar Miss Fortune versus Ashe Leona. I am currently level 5, so is Alistar, and so are Ashe and Leona. And first of all, I want to talk about this situation right here. This minion is about to die, and I think I reached level 6 off of it, so... No, not yet. Alright. This one. Okay, I reached level 6, Ashe is level 6. So... I level my ulti, I Q, and I immediately press R, and I get spam pinged. Okay, question for you. Take your time. Do you think this was a good ultimate, or do you think this was a bad ultimate? Okay, you can maybe even post your answer in the comments, but I will answer the question. This was a, in my opinion, very good and reasonable ultimate, and Alistar is a dumbass. And I will show you why. And this is, well, we look at it again, because we need to take the situation into account. I'm level 6, Ashe is level 6, supports are level 5. Okay, so Ashe walks up, but she would be in range. I should rather use the cursor. She would be in range for a Q crit, plus in range of ulti if she decides to randomly juke down, which might happen. But she just walks straight up, so the Q, well, it wouldn't have been a crit, so a miscalculation from my part. So the Q doesn't hit, and the ult hits very sparely. Ashe walks back in for some reason, which is a huge mistake on her part. But the thing is, this was a gambling, of course. I gambled, and I might have gotten a Q crit with the ulti, which would have forced a summoner. But... well, it didn't work out, but this isn't actually too bad. Alistar obviously question mark pings me because all that he sees apparently is me wasting my ulti. But the thing is, I cannot, and I can't stress this enough, should we fight in this lane, I will never ever be able to ult properly, since Leona got a point and click, got multiple tools of point and click crowd controlling me, and so does Ashe. As soon as I press R, I'm channeling, I'm pretty much a sitting duck, and Ashe can just almost point and click her R at me. So can Leona, and this is a huge problem in this lane. So my ult is pretty much off the table in fights, which in return made this play worth, since my ult going on cooldown is not worth much, since Leona is going to hit level 6 very soon and Ashe is already 6. So this ult right there was, well, I was playing towards the element of surprise, and I can show you what I mean by looking at the next situation in which we actually fight, a full-fledged 2v2 fight, so let's go. So to show you now what I was talking about, this situation, you see right there, Alistar is mid-headbutt, he's about to combo the Ashe, and he knocks her up, all fine, and she's in ult range. This right now would be my cue as a Miss Fortune player to just press R and watch Ashe die. However, Leona is not CC'd, and as soon as I press R, all she needs to do is press R on me, and the fun is over. And she full engages on me, and then goes on me with her aftershock, which is not something I would fancy. So I cannot press R right here. All I can do is walk up. Ashe can flash out, and now Ashe ult is off the table, and Leona is busy with the Alistar. So I figure I can ult right now, and well, Leona ults very late, so this was a misplay from on her part, but the point still stands. You always have to assume your opponents played this perfectly, so, well, I needed to hold on to my ult there. There was no way I could have ulted any earlier, and even the ult there was iffy. Leona could have interrupted me instantly. Alright, let's see the situation resolve itself. Okay, yeah, we got the kill on Leona in the end, so it was fine. And finally, let's look at a situation in which you should ult despite your enemies having ways to interrupt you. this situation we have, well, it's still the same match, obviously. Leona's ult is ready. It's not on cooldown. This is a visual bug right there. And we're setting up a minion crash dive with the Evelynn. Well, the minion wave that crashes is not too big, but big enough to give us time to coordinate our dive properly. And what happens here is, obviously, Alistar goes in. You see, you could afford to walk forward there, so without pulling turret aggro because of the minions. Minion crash dive. And he initiates, which is what he's supposed to do. And right there, I can ult immediately. I will... Well, in this situation, Leona could step forward and ult me, but at the same time, she cannot really afford to, since they are fighting against multiple threats right there. My ulti and Evelynn, who is coming under the turret as well. So let's see what happens first. Alright, Leona chooses to... Well, obviously she misses some spells, but she chooses to focus the Evelynn. But this situation was kind of a checkmate for the enemy, because had Leona ulted me or focused her attention to me, Evelynn could have had a field day. And by not interrupting my ulti, they obviously take a lot of damage. So if the enemy is distracted enough and you're not the only threat, you can... it's very similar to chess, actually. You can then, yeah, the checkmate is a nice analogy there. Alright, but as a quick summary, do not ult if your enemy can easily interrupt you, and don't be afraid to use your ult in trades in lane, even if it doesn't lead to a kill or something significant. And also, well, I don't know, I'm a fan of my first ult there. I think it was warranted, and it was a good ult, but well, you can obviously tell me something different in the comments if you want to. And I have a question for you. What do you think about ulting minion waves? Because this is something I'm sometimes tempted to do, especially when I can get a lot of advantage pushing the wave on the turret and then ulting the next wave and then backing, especially when it's early and my support is rather a poke support and not an all-in support. But how do you feel about that? I think it's situational, but well, you should do it when you don't have that much all-in potential. But if you have an Alistar support, for example, you should never do it. But well, I'm not too sure on this topic, so let me know what you think in the comments, and see you next time.